Thank you for inviting me to this conference. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor, and I'm speaking about a topic that I'm very passionate about. But firstly, I want to introduce myself. My name is Metteliva Henningsen, and I am a consultant in an IT company in Norway called Bouvet. I have a BA in Communication and Business Studies, and I'm a panelist in Gen Y for Future Studies in Copenhagen. And besides that, I am a serial entrepreneur on my third business adventure. So I would like to talk to you about my latest project called Eat in Common, which is about social dining, and I call it an experience in real life. With the internet, we've got a lot of opportunities. We've got the opportunity to connect with people on the other side of the globe, but it's also making the world a bit flat. People are in a hurry, we're busy, we have things to do, we lead very modern lifestyle in a global world, and it challenges us on different levels that are important to be aware of. So with the internet also came the profilation of ourselves on the media. LinkedIn, Facebook, Flickr, YouTube. There are a lot of platforms where we portray ourselves. And this is my perception of where we are right now. It is the man behind the screen expressing himself through smileys or over distance. There's something in front of us, disconnecting us from the softer things in life, the human things. So from my perspective, it's a very interesting meeting of two very different worlds. It's a virtual world and the actual world, also known as real life. Some of you might know SimCity. I actually had to look twice on this picture to realize that this is computer animated. This is not from a real city at all. And I know for a fact that people playing this game have been married outside because of this game. So it's really two worlds coming together, which is very new for our society. Leith Matthews is the founder of Restaurant out of India, and he says that while we're getting better to connect with people online, it is getting more difficult to connect with people offline. And I think there's a really truth in that. This is how many teenagers at least spend their evenings and days, and it's not uncommon that we spend a lot of time behind our screens and the flow of information is overwhelming to us. And like I said before, there is this filter in front of us being the virtual world, and we have the real world beside of it. So stepping out into the real world can give you a sense of being a little lonely or being disconnected. In other words, there is a distance between us. It's a fact that many people are living by themselves, on their own, and I found this from the Office of National Statistics in the United Kingdom, saying that from the 90s, the number of people living alone has been growing. So what is it that has value to us? What is it that is important for us as humans? And where is it that we meet and connect? Well, in my opinion, connection happens here. Really. It's about meeting real people in the real life, and that is worth working for. So I realized that in order for us to meet other people, we need an occasion to meet and connect in our global society. It's not something that's just done by itself. So that's why I've created Eat in Common. It is a concept where everyone basically can create a food event and invite people over. So the website looks like this. This is from a couple of months ago, where you can see that we had various events, and one of them was at that moment filled up. I like when the button turns gray, of course. And it doesn't have to be dinner, like most of us are thinking. It can be breakfast, lunch, afternoon snack, picnic. You choose. We're not picky about what you would like to make. We're just eager about the events on the site. So here are some pictures from our launch in Copenhagen. And be aware that these people, they don't know each other. They met for the very first time. And this is from Stavanger. And this is from our launch in Oslo. And Stavanger also, it's a combination. And here are some of our hosts. Young, global, interactive people, some of them moving to a city, wanting to connect with people, others just doing it for fun. And of course, we had aprons and shopping bags made also. So this is a very special host wearing our apron. Let me see if I can turn this one on. This is a little movie. It's a little dark in here, but this is from an event in Stavanger where people also have met for the very first time. So it's just to give you a little atmosphere. What I think is important here is the intimacy. And it's a soft value that is very difficult to incorporate in business lives. But I think intimacy is very important for us as human beings. And the definition of intimacy is a close, warm friendship or understanding. It's a personal relationship. And that is a topic that I'm very passionate about. But through our work, we have learned that people need to gather courage to join an Eating Common event. So I was thinking, what's up with that? You need to gather courage. There's a reason why doctors can travel all over the world and do their job. It's because we are one and the same. It doesn't matter what religion we have or what color of our skin, we are all the same. On Pinterest, I stumbled across this one. If I ever win the lottery, I'd love to have a backyard dinner parties like this. And I thought, where are the human in this? You don't have to win a lottery in order to connect with people. So my question is, how can we use the internet to even out the contrasts between the virtual world and the real life, and make a beautiful combination of the two going forward? It's a matter of experiences entertainment and experiences of companionship. Because experiences of entertainment is what our world is full of today, and it's easy to mix up the two. Early on, we lived in longhouses where we sat together and generations lived together under the same roof. Then came the circus and the spectacular and the phenomenal events that you would buy tickets to, and people would gather around that, the spectacular. Nowadays, experiences found in amusement and entertainment. You buy a ticket and you get a ride. Or you go to a museum, or the movies, the theater, or a big concert, watching an idol. And that is an experience, truly. But what about the small things? Initiatives tend to grow really big. There is an initiative out of the US called The Moth, started in a small patio somewhere in the US, where people would gather and tell stories to each other. Really cozy and really intimate, but it has grown big. And now they have their own radio channel, they have big shows, and focusing on comedy. But the small experience gives us a little more. So Daily Mail writes, what this society has increasingly thrown overboard is nothing less than the idea of kinship, where people are knitted together by the sense they belong to each other. So what I would like to draw our attention to is the difference between commercial events and community-oriented events, especially when we have all these people living alone by themselves, and the numbers are increasing. Commercial events, they are money-driven, fixed on time, you have an entrance fee. It's a constructed experience that leaves little or no room for the unexpected. It's some way superficial, while the community events are non-for-profit. They have no fixed ending times, and they have interaction with real people. They're authentic and genuine, and they have room for the unexpected. I think that's important. So to list it up, there's a contrast between IT and human. There's frequency versus vibration. There's the constructed versus the natural. There's the measurable versus the unpredictable. So when you give people a lot of time, and now with the technology and internet, this is what happens. A lot of selfies, people portraying themselves in various ways. But when you bring people together, a whole other thing is happening. People tend to do weird stuff, and creativity is started. Even though knitting clothing for trees maybe is a bit awkward, then there is a community around it, and there is a love. There's a vibration there. So, if I see into the future, I'm imagining a new mix of internet services where the sharing economy, community thinking, authenticity, and the everyday experiences are being put into focus. Because in the end of the day, that is when we are together that we can have compassion and social awareness and sincerity and intimacy and tolerance and cultural understanding. So it's not about cooking gourmet or doing it fancy. It's about getting social, for the sake of getting social. So we encourage people to put up a light chain, put a flower on the table, and most certainly you do not need to win the lottery to do that. Our mission and message is that it doesn't have to be much to be cozy. So what we're saying is a little less of this, a little less of people rushing by, and a little more of this. Personally, I want to contribute to this world with more occasions for people to meet and enjoy the companionship of others. Thank you very much.